Hey everybody, it's the Dynamite Show. Paul Fontaine, Jeff Hawkins here on the Fight Game Media YouTube channel shortly after AEW Dynamite ended. For those watching live and for those listening on the Fight Game Media audio feed Thursday morning, thank you for all of your support. And I see we have John's already in the chat. And what are you pointing at?
It's time for Dodgers baseball.
yeah. Dodgers and Jays start tomorrow. Friday. Look at me. I got my Benson Henderson tribute shirt on. Awesome. Nice. God. Not really, but that's what I say. Jays and Dodgers World Series in Canada, US. Jeff against Paul.
Shall we put a wager on this, Paul? Or
we'll talk. You know what? We'll talk, and then we're doing. I'm
in need of some all dressed ruffles. That's all I'm saying.
We're doing well, and I'm going to be in the States, so you could probably get it to me easier, and I can get something to you easier if I bring it with me. Because I'm going down the day after Game 7. If there is a Game 7. So we'll come up with something, and I'm going to be on Shake Them Ropes tomorrow. So we'll say what the bet is tomorrow. We'll come up with something. And Curry Head's going for the Jays. Greg, we'll let you know tomorrow. Crowbar's in the chat. Nice to see him as well. And we had WrestleDream on, what day was it? Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. It was Saturday.
And it was Saturday evening, not morning or not afternoon as it's been, and a lot of people were confused.
Hold on, Greg, my friend, we are not trying to hurt each other.
No,
on this podcast.
No.
This is a friendly gentleman's bet because Paul has already admitted in our Discord he thinks it's going to be a gentleman's sweep on our part. We're not trying to hurt each other. This is just a little friendly. This is a friendly wager, not an unfriendly wager.
And it'll probably involve food or something we can consume.
Yes.
Like if I can get him some all-dressed chips and smuggle them into my luggage and then ship them from Vegas to LA, it's probably cheaper than shipping them from Winnipeg to LA. We'll figure something out.
But yes, WrestleDream was Saturday.
Yeah, WrestleDream was Saturday. A lot of people were confused because the last 3 shows have been in the afternoon, and I honestly think they should go to the afternoon. That's a different discussion, but I think AEW fans actually would prefer their shows to be in the afternoon. But
if they're going to go that long, they should.
Yeah, well, there's that too. But I heard Dave on Wrestling Observer Radio talking about the length of the show and saying, he heard more about it this time because it was in the evening. And maybe that's right. But I think it's more to do with the fact that it's not All In and it's not Double or Nothing. It's WrestleDream. And
it's one of the B pay-per-views. Yeah.
Right. It does not need to be 4.5 hours.
And I don't know about you, but I do subscribe to some theory of there being such thing as comfort pay-per-views that, hey, I got 2 to 3 hours on a dead Saturday or Sunday. My football team has been eliminated from the playoffs or whatever. I'll sit down and watch, Bash 89 or whatever. You can't do that with AEW pay-per-views.
You're never going to go back and watch this show.
No.
You might go back and watch a match from it. If you really want to see it. But you're not going to have 4.5 hours to watch back a show. That's okay.
There were 2 talking points I wanted to get to before we get to a general opinion. Number 1, the least of the points for me. What did you think of starting with the overrun from Collision into the pay-per-view with the FTR match?
I know that Dave had suggested that they try that. TNA has done it earlier this year. I think it's a little bit different with TNA. Number 1, their shows aren't as long. Number 2, nobody's watching them. But when you're talking about this one, you had 2 different groups of people pissed off the way they did it. The first group was the people that watched Collision but weren't going to order the pay-per-view. They were pissed off that they didn't get to see the finish. And the people that bought the pay-per-view but weren't going to waste time watching Collision were upset that they didn't get to see the start of the match. And I think that there is a group of AEW hardcore fans that are only watching these pay-per-views Like they're watching Dynamite, but they ain't watching Collision, and they sure as hell ain't watching pre-shows. And those people, you're risking pissing them off by not showing them the whole match. And so I don't think it's a good idea for AEW to do that.
It's a horrible idea for AEW to do it. It's dumb, number one, because pay-per-views are supposed to be their own package. If it's an important enough match, you put it on the actual pay-per-view. And I say this as somebody who's gotten frustrated of late. I forget if it's a Heavenly Bodies or if it's an Orient Express match, but one of those two had a classic tag team match on a pre-show for a WWF pay-per-view.
Oh.
And I think it might have been Orient Express Rockers.
And they didn't air the pre-shows, did they?
Or it was Heavenly Bodies and maybe like the Guns or Smoking Guns or something like that. But no, they'd air them on the cable systems leading up to the pay.
Oh, we lost Jeff there, or we lost me. I'm not sure.
View itself. So they're impossible to find. Now, if that FTR Jet Speed match had been everything we wanted and more, you wouldn't be able to watch the entire whole match because it would start halfway in on the pay-per-view as the opener. That's why, to me, it's a bad idea. What they're trying to do is have it both ways. They're trying to say that, oh, we're doing a hard sell for the pay-per-view, which they aren't.
No.
While also catering to the people who don't want a hard sell for the pay-per-view and still want an hour's worth of wrestling before the pay-per-view, which is sick. I say don't do pre-shows. I say put on your road to whatever a half hour beforehand, and then let's just go. It's ridiculous.
You could have also just said like, oh, look at the clock. There's only 3 minutes left. We're not going to have time to get this match in. So Tony Khan has just made the decision. We're going to add it to the pay-per-view. And for those people watching on Collision, if you want to see FTR versus Jet Speed, you're going to have to order WrestleDream. I mean, they could have done that rather than just show like 3 minutes of the match and then cut away. Because you know what else pissed me off? And I just remembered this. Did you watch Collision? Like the pre-show?
Yes.
They had a clock on the screen, and the clock said there was 1 minute left, and they just cut the feed. I didn't understand that at all. Like, why didn't we get that last minute?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All
Jason says, who's going to pay $50 to watch the end of a TV match? I mean, exactly.
Right.
Whereas if you say it's important and we want this match, we want to see it in its entirety, so we're going to move it to the pay-per-view. That's it.
Our friend Ryan Frederick unfortunately paid $50 to watch this show.
And didn't get to
but he didn't get to see it because they won't let him do a replay of it. It's ridiculous. But let's get to my point number 2, and this is where I may rub some people the wrong way. We've already been discussing it on the Figure 4 board because a follower of mine took my point and took it over there.
Okay.
Where do you fall, because this is old man Hawkins talking, on the scale of in an I Quit match, it is important to have a microphone so that you can then hear the person say, I quit, because that is part of the narrative satisfaction of the match.
I would prefer to have a microphone. I also think that if you produce it properly, you don't necessarily need a microphone. I think it's important that we hear and see the person give up. And I don't know if I'm being like, what's the word where like they tell you something happened that it didn't actually happen?
Gaslit.
I think I'm being gaslit because somebody's telling me they did show it. It was very clear on camera. You saw Moxley quitting and you saw him screaming. No, I watched it.
That was an alternate angle.
That's what I said. They said it came directly from the broadcast. There's no way. I haven't gone back to look.
That guy's also a moron. So
okay. So we can agree. We didn't actually get to see or hear. And that's the key.
We saw him tapping, which is
people thought the match ended up by a tap out. They didn't even think he said it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the NWA Crockett. This was, I believe, a Crockett invention. I don't. Some other historian can come in and sweep it, but I mean, the most two famous are the Tully Magnum and the Flair Funk. And yeah, I don't necessarily want to hear, you know, you know,
fuck you. You know,
somebody's
like
sticking a mic in somebody's mouth and getting screamed at.
You'd have heard "fuck you" 85 times before.
Yes, we would have.
Yeah,
but I think there's something to it where we get, if they're going to end it with a definitive "I quit," I want to hear it on the microphone. I want to hear it on the sound system. I want to hear him say it as part of the finish, because this is what we have built to. And I watched that and I was angry. I'm even angry at how they tried to explain it on today's TV. But to get back to the rest of the WrestleDream, I mean, WrestleDream it had
actually, but before you made a good point, because you said over the system, and that's super important, because
yes,
the people in the building needed to hear it.
Yes, because
because
here's a thing. Paul's going to be watching Flair Funk from '89 tomorrow, as part of my show Shake Them Ropes. But I've watched that. I've watched the Tully Magnum 8 million times. When he says "I quit" over the microphone, the pop from the crowd in both shows, it really, as they say in The Big Lebowski, it brings the room together, as they say. It is so, yes, there's this weird emotional release from the crowd hearing "I quit," and it's so good. And I'm so angry they didn't do this. I almost thought Moxley watched that match from '89
and said, we're
deconstructed it and said, we're not doing any of the beats of a typical "I quit" match. Like, we're just going to have constant interference the whole time.
Like that. John from Memphis Curryhead brings up, the mic is the third most important thing in the "I quit" match besides the two wrestlers. Look at Funk versus Flair, even look at Mankind versus The Rock. Yeah, I mean, Mankind versus Rock was a screw job, but it was still important. We still heard it, and then, you know, they had an idea, and
part of hearing "I quit," they tried to get around it again. They also deconstructed it, but at least they played audio over the thing and screwed him.
And they made it obvious what it was.
Yes.
Which, you know, Backlund quitting at Mania 11 was another one brought up here. I was that against Bret Hart? I think so, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So, you know, and you know, and you could have the towel. Somebody asked if Darby Brown, does that count as "I quit"? No. You got to quit. If you shot him dead, you can't win, because the guy can't.
You have to revive him and have him speak.
Yes, you do. So anyway, so I interrupted you. Overall thoughts.
I mean, the rest of the show was pretty good, I thought. I mean, it was wrestling, and there was a lot of phone watching on my part at times.
Yeah,
because it wasn't heat related wrestling. It was the cromulent stuff. It was well worked. You know, I really enjoyed the tag team title match. I thought the 6-man, I just was like, why are we gonna just redo what we just did beforehand? But you know, the two women's matches were pretty good, I thought. There wasn't really a dud.
There was 3 actually.
Were there? What am I thinking of that I'm forgetting?
2 of them were good. Mercedes and Mina. Probably the worst match on the show.
You thought that was a dud?
No, not a dud. I gave it 3 stars.
Okay. But I said there wasn't a dud, and you said there were 3.
No, but you said 2 women's matches, and there was actually 3.
What was the third?
Tekla and Jamie Hayter.
Oh, that's right.
Which was good.
I really enjoyed that match a lot.
Yeah. Like the women's matches were good. I mean, like I said, the worst match was Mercedes Mina, and it wasn't bad. It just had no heat, and it went too long, which was basically most of the card. You could say that about. No, I liked the show too. I thought it was way better than All Out. Even though I know a lot of people really liked All Out, I didn't. So
I liked this better than All Out.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So I'm not the only one. Say hi to Fernando. What's up? Jason's in there. Plethora transferring heat. And Sideswipe. Yeah. And Jason brought this point up in our Discord.
Put that up.
And I really enjoyed it. This was the biggest problem with the show. The build didn't distinguish the show from a loaded Dynamite. 100%. Yeah. Oh, Jeff froze again. Let's see. Unless it's me.
Nope, it was you, but we'll continue.
All right. Yeah, that could happen with me. I got new internet here, and I don't think it's as good as my old one, even though it's a lot cheaper, which may explain why. So yeah, so I enjoyed it. Like I said, I did think the best match of the weekend was Sammy and Ilya Dragunov, but
Yes.
Some people think there was like 5 matches on this show that were better than that. Whatever, each to their own. You know what I compared? There was a bit of controversy about Dave and his opinions on some of those matches, and I was thinking when I was listening to Wrestling Observer Radio that it reminds me of. Did you play TNM?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how when you were playing TNM and you had a wrestler that would always get 5-star matches, and the key in the game was you match that guy up with someone else. And you put them in the same match against each other enough times, and eventually the other guy all of a sudden starts to get 5-star matches. And then you can put that guy in with somebody else, and you can put the first guy in with somebody else, and now all 4 of them are getting 5-star matches, and you go on and on and on. These guys are wrestling for the simulator, and Dave's the simulator.
Yes.
And so, I mean, the company was built around a guy who grew up on The Observer, who's a Dave Meltzer mark. Most of the wrestlers are Dave Meltzer marks. And as a result, you get shows with great wrestling for the most part that is specifically tailored to Dave Meltzer's tastes.
I would agree. And
that's not it's just an observation. It's not a criticism.
Well, it's the Tony Khan. Okay. But what did you think of the matches? That's and I prefer heat. So I want heat in my stuff. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, but again, I will take that show and even like the Darby John Moxley match, because of the restrictions they had, I thought, like, again, we didn't like the finish, but the match leading up to the finish, I thought was better because they couldn't do what they probably wanted to do. Because that's just not my taste. That's all.
Yeah.
So, so there we go. And Transferring Heat says MVP said what we said, and Dave disagreed.
Of course he did. Dave will then come out with his Frank DeFord called me a good journalist.
Wow. Yeah. Did you catch the well, no, and it's not a criticism of Dave. Like, Dave's giving his opinion, like, and they're putting on matches that Dave likes. So I'm not going to tell Dave to like have a curve now.
That's the thing is they take the opinion on the matches and then they go, this is also how he digests news as well.
Right.
And so they call him biased. Yeah.
Exactly. And he's not. I mean, I've watched stuff with him. But when you see a thing where like everybody says one match is better, and then he's like, no, that Okada Bandido match.
And also half the wrestlers that pretend to hate Dave online actually read the Observer. That's the other thing that I found out.
Yep. Did you catch the Sarah and
Sarah Stock?
We're not going to talk about that. But
no, we're not going to talk about that. But there is a point within Sarah Stock's first thing about children. The problem is. Children aren't paying $50 for the pay-per-view, and if they are watching a pay-per-view, parental supervision should probably be there too if they have access to the pay-per-view button or whatever. I'm partially there with Sarah. I mean, like, if you put those matches on regular TV, I'd give her more of a benefit of a doubt, and then just the rest of the stuff just.
I thought Amanda had a good point, but then I started ignoring her when she told Sarah to fuck off and die. I think those words.
That tends to be a boundary right there.
I think that's an exact quote. So we tonight's show is from San Antonio, and they had a small but lively crowd. And it was small because it was a small building. Like, it was 1,800 seats, and I think they sold out. So it was good, and they made a lot of noise. It didn't look any smaller, I didn't think, than any normal ones. The way they shot it. So that's good. I think that's a positive. It's when it looks small or sounds like there's nobody there that's a problem, and this was neither of those things. So I thought that was good. They opened up the show. Excalibur ran down the card, which is great. They showed a video package of WrestleDream, also great.
Very good.
Then we got a Hangman Page backstage interview. He's pissed off that Joe turned on him, and he promises to ruin Samoa Joe's goddamn life. And then Joe was in the next match, and we never saw Hangman. So I don't know where he was. I guess
I don't understand that call either. Where is Hangman after his big victory? Is he injured? If he's injured, then say he's
No,
injured.
but the thing is, it's not even that. He said, I'm going to ruin your life. So I expected to see him after this match, and we didn't.
Okay.
And he is there because he's going to be on Collision, and they're taping Collision right now. So,
you're putting your champion on Collision. Okay.
Yes, you are. They told us that.
Huh.
So yeah. So we got open the show with the Ops against the Hurt Syndicate Trios title match, and this was it was good. I mean, it was hard hitting, and all these guys are pretty good professional wrestlers. So Hobbs and Joe in particular were acting very much like heels. Shibata, I'm not sure he knows what's going on, but he's just wrestling his matches. He doesn't really change anything. Although like he's not like he's going along with it, but it's not like
I want to see a more heelish Shibata. I'm kind of interested in that. That kind of intrigues me.
Yeah, and we didn't really get to see it, but and I don't think like I don't know how long this heel turn is going to last because the people love these guys and they're going to start cheering them eventually. But it was good though. They had Joe did his walkaway spot when Shelton did like a dive off the rope, but then Shelton knew it was coming, so he landed on his feet. I thought that was cool. So that's like kind of a nice twist on it because Joe's a heel. Hobbs and Joe hit a sweet power slam senton combo on Benjamin when they went into break. They come back, and Danielson did a great job tonight, by the way. Overall, like he just was selling all the angles like 100% correctly and everything. So he said that the Hurt Syndicate
not 100% correctly, but we'll get to that.
Okay. Anyways, the crowd was chanted meat for Lashley and Hobbs. Shibata hit Lashley with a PK for 2. Then he started selling his neck, and I was a little bit worried, but I think he was just selling. Then Joe and MVP were in there together, and MVP hit his ball-in move on Joe. Not sure I would have done that with the manager against the guy that's probably going for the world title on the next pay-per-view, but they did. Shibata broke up the pin.
Pause there for a moment. I didn't like that move on the pay-per-view either. I don't think he should be bringing his WWE stuff into this ring. I mean, it's lame. It's the kind of lame stuff that people would normally boo, but because he's semi-retired, they cheer it.
And because he's in their team now.
Yes.
So one-armed Joe hit the Coquina clutch on MVP, but he broke it up himself. Ricochet showed up, distracted MVP. Then Joe put the choke on again, and he tapped. And so it was a good match. Joe, makes the manager tap. So again, Lashley doesn't lose. I will put the over/under on the number of pinfall losses or submission losses that Bobby Lashley takes in AEW at 0.5. And I'm taking the under.
Taking the under.
Yeah. Plethora, thank you very much for the super chat. Second pay-per-view in a row, Mercedes match had no heat. I don't know why. I do, and I'm not even sure it's Mercedes' fault.
It's not.
It's a long show. They didn't announce it. Nobody cared about her opponent. And I mean, it's a little bit Mercedes, but mostly not. Mostly factors beyond her control. There was no heat for anything in this show after the Bucks and Jurassic Express tore the house down until Moxley and Darby, really. Like there was a little bit of heat here and there, but they killed the crowd. And Garrett and I talked about that on the takedown this week.
And they dissipated the heat in the Jurassic Express Young Bucks thing with the Kenny Omega run-in.
Correct. Yeah. So the Demand were out there all together. They're all wearing robes. And I guess the feud between the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand must continue. The Hurt Syndicate chased them back to the locker room, and that was that. So then we got Tony Schiavone in the ring with the Ops. Schiavone says to Joe, fans want to know why you did what you did to Hangman.
Tony tried to get a why Joe why chant going, and nobody bit on it.
Nope. First of all, I want to say what a pleasure it is to be here in San Antonio tonight. It's a big pop. Because you got to understand when you have a man like Powerhouse Hobbs around, it's good to have these fat San Antonio women around to keep him occupied.
Shout out to Charles Barkley on that one.
Yeah. Now on to the question. Why, Joe, why? Well, it's really simple, Tony. Because I exist. As long as I'm on planet Earth and you call yourself a champion, I come hunting for you. As long as you stride this earth and think you're the man, you know that I'm just waiting to show you that you are not the man. Fans chanted cowboy shit. So Joe picks right up on it. Much like these people say, Hangman Adam Page, you may just think this is some cowboy shit. Well, rest assured, just like every one of you slack-eyed Texans in here, I'll slap your slack-eyed jaw and make you my bitch. Because if you haven't noticed, what's standing before you is the ops, and we stand in opposition to everybody, and we are never lacking. What a fucking great promo.
It was beautiful.
This should have been the promo last week before the pay-per-view, but
yes.
yeah.
It also didn't need to be in the ring. It could have been a backstage promo if they had wanted to, but still.
It could have, but Joe is a pro and he made it work.
No. He can control the crowd, so it's good. It's not even the most egregious one that needed to be a backstage one, but yes, Joe.
I'm curious.
Please, just put the belt back on Joe. That's all I want. I love him. Oh,
I will say that, like this result, and then later on there was another result that they kind of rendered meaningless from the pay-per-view. Well, actually two. They rendered two results meaningless: the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand, and Joe Hangman. It's like, yeah, we were just gonna run these.
They kind of rendered Joe or the I Quit match meaningless.
Well, I was gonna say, but I do think that is playing into a bigger story, and I know that that's what people are telling us after the pay-per-view, but they're actually telling that story now tonight, and we'll get to that. I actually really like what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, we might be disagreeing in a little bit here.
A little bit.
So Excalibur tells us that it was a record-breaking weekend for Mercedes Moné. They show her arriving in a car, and there's a bunch of dudes around the car, 12 of them, each one of them holding one of her belts. That was cool. That was a good entrance.
They have learned their lesson from the last time they rented this same convertible that she was in, where it was just her looking kind of like janky in just the thing.
Oh, back to Plethора's super chat. I wonder why Mercedes match had no heat. You remember who she came out with?
The frat house, right?
The frat house. The whole frat house. Now, if they wanted to ditch 40-year-old Jack Jameson and Preston Vance, who turned on a little kid, and just had Garrison and Carter as like her like boy toys, that's money. In my opinion, yeah. I think that would be actually pretty cool. But those four together, immediately, it's like, no, they're losers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So we get Remarkable Renee with Chris Statlander. She says, you successfully defended your title against Tony Storm. And Statlander says, Tony Storm, if there's anyone I could have stripped with and beat the shit out of and then fought, I'm glad it was you. I'm not.
Let me pause here real quick. A lot of shits for the early hour in this. There
show, was. Huh? I think they're not bleeping stuff anymore.
Yeah,
could be wrong.
Okay, but continue. Sorry.
She said, and unlike Mercedes Moné, I'm not focused on what I did. I'm focused on what I'm going to do. Mercedes, I beat Tony Storm twice. Have you? I won the AEW Women's World Championship. Did you? You broke the glass ceiling. Well, I'm going to soar right past it. So at Full Gear, Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné, I accept. Oh, and by the way, have a nice celebration tonight. And she walks away, and Mercedes or Renee has this disgusted look on her face because she's a Mercedes mark.
Yeah, I like the substance of the promo. What is she doing with the do-si-do thing with Renee's arms and stuff as she's telling this promo? I thought that was a poor choice.
I think she is like mocking Renee because she knows Renee is a Mercedes mark. I think that's the storyline. I don't know if that's, like a smart thing to do. I think Mercedes should just be playing it neutral, but
that part didn't work for me, but nevertheless.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even notice it until you brought it up. So Darby Allin's out for a promo. He gets in the ring, lays the flag down, says, before I climbed Mount Everest, there was people saying I was irresponsible and I couldn't be a face of this company because I'd get myself killed. But I'd like to argue the opposite. I'm willing to go to places for this company that no one else is willing to go. I will die for this place. The marks on my body from Saturday tell a story, and the camera showed his back and it's all carved up. I may have made John say I quit. I was never going to say it on Saturday, but I'm wearing the scars today. And I ain't stupid. I know the Death Riders aren't just going to go out just like that. So let me tell you something, John. As long as the Death Riders are breathing, Darby Allin isn't far behind. So this is where I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, we're just right back to where we started. But
this is one that should have been either backstage or a video.
Okay,
because
I agree.
Because the amount of time Darby takes with this new entrance is not worth the squeeze of that promo. And I like Darby.
You could have done this over a video package of the match.
Yes. And this was, hey, we're going to bring Darby out after the match so that the live crowd can see him, and then we're going to send him away. And
the whole reason they did this, right? And
because of the run in later.
No, that's the reason for the promo, but the reason they had to do it in the ring, the flag.
Okay.
They wanted that flag in the middle of the ring.
Just show the photo of him at Everest with the flag on a voiceover.
They should have left that flag on Everest. Like, they really should have. And that should open Dynamite. That should be in the opening Dynamite video package, that flag flying over Everest every week. But so speaking of interviews that should have been on a video, we got a video package with an interview, and it was freaking great. This may be the best promo Jack Perry's cut, I thought. Yes. I love this promo. So he said, I haven't had a serious match since January. We haven't had a tag team match like that, maybe in our lifetime. We just beat the most legendary tag team of our generation, maybe the greatest of all time. Why this? Why now? Well, we're here after reclamation, reclaiming everything we lost, a name, a reputation, a feeling. We want to give everything we had more than everything in this world. We're here to take it all. So be careful, whoever has our world tag team titles. This was awesome. Like,
did more for this character than the year of the goat.
This is like, oh my God. Yeah. And like, it just like completely ignores the whole storyline, which is fine because it's stupid. And now they beat the Bucks and they're going for the tag team titles.
And they've got a bit of an edge on them.
Yes. Yeah. And Eddie's a great babyface. Like, yeah, no, this was awesome. And as during the promo, they're showing highlights of the match, and they're also showing highlights of early in their career. So reminding you of the evolution of Jack Perry. I thought this was great.
I like this a lot too.
Yeah. Then we got a 4-way tag team match, and this was announced earlier today, right after I did the preview for this show. So I didn't even know about it at 4:00 Eastern. Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford against the Sisters of Sin, which is Julia Hart and Sky Blue, against Harley and Willow and Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata. And the gimmick here is the winners of this match get to choose their first round opponents. So it's an interesting idea. They do this in the Professional Women's Hockey League. The number 1 seed so there's 4 teams that make the playoffs out of 6. And the number 1 seed gets to pick their opponents. And then the other, whoever's left, are the other 2 teams. So, and they've talked about doing this in the NBA too, having the top 2 seeds in each conference pick their opponents. So I kind of like it, and I thought it worked here for whatever reason, but they had a match. It was good. I mean, it's the same match we see every single week with, some combination of all 8 of these women. And there's a few more that are sometimes in it. And it was fine. Fans were super into Jamie. I thought Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford probably looked the best out of all the teams. Like, they had some pretty cool moves. There was one where Megan Bayne threw Penelope into Willow, and then Penelope hit a cutter when she hit Willow. So yeah, that was cool.
It actually was Willow threw her into Megan. Megan threw her back. And
Megan caught her and then threw her back. Yeah. And then they hit a double stunner. Ford hit a double stunner, and then Bayne hit a double German on Willow. They went for a Doomsday, but Willow escaped, and then she hit Bayne with a pounce. Hayter did a blind tag while all this was going on. And then Hayter and Almanata double teamed Willow. Then they double teamed Ford. And then they hit an awesome headbutt from Aminata into a Haterade by Jamie Hayter, coincidentally enough, for the win. And it was good. It was a nice double team move to finish it. I thought it was really cool because they kind of showcased the different moves that all the different teams did. We didn't really see a lot of Sky and Julia, and that's fine because I don't think they're very good. I noticed I didn't say that. And Willow and Queen, they put over, Willow and Harley were not experienced as a team, and they made sure to point that out. So that was cool too. That's why they didn't win.
Yeah. Couple things here. Number 1, your gimmick for picking the team that you want to face in the first round only works if you know all the teams
True.
And it's one of those things where it's like, and now we're going to announce the brackets. It's like, well, I would have liked to have known the teams that they were selecting from
I
beforehand.
picked Diamante and Robin Renegade.
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking the Renegade. But speaking of that, I kind of would have liked another round of this women's tag team tournament to get all these women that they have on this roster that they're just not using into it.
Oh, so I have like a 16-team tournament or
Yeah.
qualifying matches,
and qualifying matches, or some of your international partners may send one in there, make a little bit of intrigue like this. Like there's no Rio, there's no Yuka, there's no Nyla, there's no the other Japanese woman that I can't think of right now that just came back.
Rio?
Oh,
you just mentioned Rio. Shida?
No, the one with Shida. That's the one I'm thinking of. There's no Deonna Purrazzo. There's no Taya Valkyrie. There's no Thunder Rosa. There's no
there's a lot.
DMD. There's no there's
Diamante, who I mentioned.
Yeah, Diamante, who's been nothing but a good soldier this whole time since the last tag tournament they did.
There's no Billy Starks.
No Billy Starks. Yeah, all the Ring of Honor women could have been put on here too. Yeah. You could have put Isla Dawn into a team somewhere in here too.
I'm not sure she's signed, but yeah, they don't have to be signed.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to. You just need.
I saw a New Japan. I watched a New Japan.
You could have like the teams who are in this 4-way. Yep. Have buys, and then you have other teams coming at them or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I watched a New Japan show on Sunday, and there was a women's tag team match on that show because they were working with Kenta's promotion, and it's in some junior high school gym. And there was these 4 women. I don't remember their names. I'd never seen them before in my life, but 2 of them are sisters, and they are on opposite teams. And Brad, who listens to the show a lot of times, told me that they're 2 of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I'd never seen them before. I can't remember their names.
Showcase some people to see, hey, do we want to sign them? Like one of my favorite clashes was that international tag team tournament that they did on TV. I thought that was phenomenal. When they did it.
I remember Ted Petty was in there representing South Africa.
South Africa, yes, he was in South Africa. I believe Johnny Grunge was also on another team representing the country, and that he had no business doing that.
I think Benoit might have been in there.
Benoit and Beef Wellington were a team. You had the O'Days from Australia. You had
something like that. I mean, that would have been cool. And you could have even done the matches on Collision or even Ring of Honor, or whatever, or did them in Japan and then showed highlights.
Sure.
And then, So, but they didn't, and that's fine. I think they want to get this thing wrapped up by Full Gear, so that's probably part of the reason why.
Starrcade 90 was one, and then there was another tournament also on a Clash that I can't remember, and maybe that one wasn't the world ones. It was it was other team, like the Malenkos were in that other one that I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, so Jamie Hayter grabs a mic after, and she says, "Isn't tag team wrestling fantastic? I don't think we should have to wait to choose our pick. So Sisters of Sin, you're a pain in our asses. We choose you. Let's have it." And they showed Sisters of Sin were in the aisle, and they seemed pretty happy. So I guess
I do love the Hayter Queen Aminata team, and I'm much, we're gonna make this a 6-woman, bring in Emi Sakura to be the 3rd on that.
Oh yeah, maybe the women's trios titles. No, please don't do that. So I mean, there's some. I mean, we'll go over the brackets later, but they got some good teams in this, and I think it's gonna be a fun tournament. So here's where the show became a comedy show for a little while. So there's a disturbance outside Tony Khan's office, and the Bucks are knocking on his door. They want a money match. We know you're in there. Meanwhile, like, I'm positive they've shown Tony Khan is always at Gorilla during the show. So I don't know what he was doing in his office on this show, but he was there.
And he's also a character that's usually only a voice when he's in his office.
But no, he came out this time, which we'll get to. But Renee shows up. She says, "What's going on?" And one of them says, "We're desperate." And she says, "Yeah, we can all see that. You guys lost that $500K. What's next?" And Nick says, "We don't know what's next. We're poor. We're broke. We want a money match. We'll wrestle anyone. We'll team with anyone." So Tony Khan hears that, and he comes out. And he says, "It's been a while. I heard what you were saying. You'll team with anybody. You'll fight anyone. Well, I got a match for you. Fight the Jurassic Express." And they're like, "Okay." "And Jet Speed." And they're like, "What, 4-on-2? And just let me finish." He says, "I'll put up $400,000 in a 4-on-4 all-star match right here in San Antonio this Saturday on Collision. The fans pop because they know like they're going to see this match in like an hour. And against you two and these guys. And walking out of their Tony Khan's office for some reason are FTR and Stokely. And Excalibur says, "Oh, these guys got history, and Bucks are not sure about this." And Stokely says, "Nah," or one of the Bucks says, "Nah, this is water under the bridge. We need the money." And Stokes like, "Yeah, you do." And he hands him like a 20. And Nick is like, "Yeah, okay." He's not too proud to take the money, and he pockets it. And Matt kind of looks at him, and so we're gonna get that. It was all comedy, but whatever. I guess Tony Khan's is gonna keep offering these dudes money.
I know Tony likes his bangers, and yeah, this is a banger. But I wanted them to lean into the comedy on this one, and I wanted it to be something like the Mulkeys or something, some team.
Yeah, like I thought it was gonna be like the
swirl. The swirl,
yeah.
You know,
the varsity athletes.
Someone who, yes, the varsity athletes, the frat house, someone who never wins. And they
no, you know what would have been even better? Bowens and Castor.
Bowens and oh my God. No. Because then they'd have to take it seriously as a match. No, I wanted it to be, I wanted Tony to stack the deck so they'd lose. And it's
okay. John. Okay, it was $1 apparently. Okay, I don't know. I don't recognize American money. Okay.
Yes, if it had been a loony, he would have recognized.
Yeah, if it was Canadian, if it was blue, I would have known it was a 5. So yeah, they did it during a Buck segment. Okada was on the headset with TK and Gorilla, and then there was that other time when MJF was hiding behind Tony when someone was coming after him, and So, we don't need to camera shame Tony. We all know he's an awkward television character. And to continue the comedy, Renee was in the ring for the celebration ceremony, and she went over Mercedes weekend. She describes that she retained her female title in Mexico on Friday, defeated Mina Shirakawa for the Ring of Honor interim title on Saturday. Actually, I should point out, she retained her CMLL title against Persephone in Mexico on Friday. Then she defeated Mina Shirakawa for the Ring of Honor interim title on Saturday. Then she flew up to Winnipeg and won the WPW Women's Championship, which was championship number 12. Apparently, she didn't actually defeat anyone in that match because they didn't.
On the ones you could use, it would have been kind of fun to have stuck Mercedes in a tournament with all the women she beat.
Yeah. But no, I just thought it was interesting that they didn't mention Jody Threat because she's in TNA and that's WWE adjacent. And and then she demands that we celebrate her tonight, the CEO, the Ultimo Moné. So Mercedes music starts and all the dudes come out holding her belts. And then we cut back to the ring and Minnie Moné's in the ring. And she says, "Please say hello to your CEO." And immediately I've been thinking, okay, this sounds a little different. We had that thing earlier today where Chris Statlander said, "Have a good celebration." I thought that they were doing a misdirect and it was actually Chris Statlander operating the puppet and it wasn't Harley. Because we all
doing ventriloquism or no?
Well, no, like it's not ventriloquism when you don't actually see the other
person. No. I was thinking you were thinking that it was.
No, I thought it was actually Chris talking. Like I just Yeah. Like cuz it sounded different. But so she says, "Renee, thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm the best to do it. 3 countries, 3 record-setting victory. But don't they say bad things happen in 3? I'm a global champion like I said I would be. So let's do the CEO dance to celebrate me." They play the music and she's like, "You too, Renee. Let's move those hips. That's right. Shake it." And Renee's dancing like really can I say it? She was dancing. She was so white. That's all I can say.
She is Canadian white on that.
She is Canadian white, and she looked just like me. I should point out they had a table set up. There was a cake in the ring in Lakers colors here in San Antonio, which is a nice touch. And it said Mercedes 12, and there's a bottle of vodka as well. Mm-hmm. So now the music plays, and Mercedes comes out, and she's pissed. And she says, "Cut my music. Get to the back, boys. Get to the back." then she comes out and Renee, come here. Get out. So she leaves. And she says, Harley, what the hell do you think you're doing? You stupid dung marks. You're going to mock me? You guys want to laugh at me after everything I've done for this company and for women's wrestling? And as she's saying this, Mini Moné is like mocking all her words and repeats them. And then Mercedes is pissed. And she's like, Harley, you're so pathetic. Wasn't it just a couple weeks ago you were begging me to be your tag team partner?
Now, pause it right here.
Okay.
This was the best reaction because when she goes, Harley, you're so pathetic. And the puppet just gets this sad reaction with the mouth being slightly open, even though it can't move its eyes or anything. I howled.
Yeah.
Continue.
I love this. I'm not going to lie. So now you're disrespecting me. You're laughing at me. Are you that desperate for attention? Tonight is about me. This is my moment, my celebration, what I've done. Becoming 12 belts Moné is going to go down as one of the greatest accomplishments in professional wrestling history. Me, Ultimo Moné, is going to be talked about for years to come. You stupid, pathetic marks want to mock at me. I'm tired of this disrespect. So if you want to laugh at something, Harley, laugh at this. And she puts the doll's face in the cake. The crowd gasps at this freaking doll getting her cake, getting her face put in the cake. And then
the doll opens its mouth like
eating
Mercedes would too. It was fantastic. Yes.
And then Harley's face pops up, and I'm like, oh, it is Harley. And then immediately right after that, we get a second reveal, and Chris Statlander's there too. Mercedes doesn't see her. She slams her into the cake. Then she picks her up again and slammed her again right through the table. And that was that. So this is setting up their match at Full Gear. And I love this segment.
The only thing that was a drawback to me was Mercedes using the term mark twice. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
But the way that they did this was fantastic. I thought I really liked this a lot.
John liked it too. He said it made Chris Statlander look like the champion. Ultimate Moné is a great nickname. Yeah, I think Ultimate Moné is better than Ultimate Moné, but you know.
And then my joke from last week, well, it's better than Mercedes drags on.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, Greg thought it was Britt with the puppet because they hammered it home so much that it was Harley that you figured it was a swerve. Yeah, like I thought it was like right from the start, I thought it wasn't Harley. So that's Harley is so like,
well, I don't see how y'all could think that because it was obvious the Australian accent on the
I didn't hear it.
It's like, okay,
yeah,
I did.
I thought it was Chris. I thought it was Chris trying to do Harley's voice. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, like it just sounded different enough. But I guess it's also different because Harley's trying to do Mercedes' voice with her Australian accent. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So then we got went from that comedy, we got directly serious.
Well, hold on. I love. See, I still maintain, and I said this also when it first appeared. They should have had those puppets ready for the AEW store. They would have made a mint. And whenever she comes out and everybody's dancing their little puppet to her, and she hates it as a heel. And then when she turns,
plant a couple of those that she can grab and rip off the heads. And
then when she turns babyface, it's going to be even more of a moneymaker because everybody's going to want one to do the dance with her.
What did you call it there? A moneymaker?
A Moné maker. Yeah. And I also would then want a chase figure for her it covered in cake as well. Yes. Just cake covered Moné is like double the cost or whatever. And people
and Mercedes, she took this cake for all it was worth. And we saw her later on, and she was covered in icing. And I hate these tweets on the screen. I absolutely hate them. Sometimes in the segment I will like, and then one of the tweets will put over the segment in such a cringe manner that I change my mind and I don't like it because I don't want to agree with these marks, trademark Mercedes. But there was one of the tweets that came up later where they said Mercedes covered in yellow icing and being called a minion by Athena was perfect. And I was like, okay, there we go. That makes all the bad tweets worthwhile.
I'll have a comment when we get to that segment. Yeah.
All right. So we got Moxley, and this was after the I Quit match, and he's looking in a mirror, and he says, "I did not deliver on what I promised. Tonight, it was your strength that was the deciding factor. Your absolutely unwavering commitment to self-destruction. One of these days, that will be your downfall, but on Saturday, it was the way you won. Tomorrow, the sun rises again. We get out of bed. We get back to work. Our unwavering commitment to being the absolute best 365 days a year. Our only competition is ourselves. There's no one in pro wrestling that does what I do, what we do, that can hold a candle to the standard that we set." So he's like, he's doing this on purpose because he's trying to remember that he has a group, but he's being all egotistical.
He's in denial. And I like that
too.
I like that part of it.
Yeah. You believe that you can pull it off. I thought your body was going to fold. I believed in my heart that he would, and he made me a liar. But it doesn't matter how tonight went. I know exactly who I am when I look in the mirror. And then he looks in the mirror and you see the doubt on his face. This was great.
Yeah, and it was great right up until my criticism of your comment that Bryan Danielson got all the angles correct.
Oh, okay.
So he's next.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
he's not quite next, because next thing we saw was that stupid video. We went right from this serious Jon Moxley promo to this, whatever this was. I guess it was a 90210
thing. It was a parody of Beverly Hills 90210's opening credits.
Okay. So when did 90210 debut?
Like 1991, I believe.
Okay, so 34 years ago. When WWF started getting real hot in like 1984, this would have been like putting an I Love Lucy promo on WWE and thinking that it was going to be great for all the young people watching.
I saw this online and I knew it would be something for like Garrett and our boy Zach Malibu, Chris Trillo and stuff. I know they'd like it. The thing that would have saved it on this show would be if Moxley had walked onto the set at this time and just destroyed everybody that was involved in this.
So it was like it was this video with like sitcom credits, and it had like starring and the different people in the conglomeration. I'll be honest, like I skipped it because I just didn't want to see it. The music is bad. Like it's a
knockoff of the 90210 theme.
Okay, there you go. I don't recognize that because I never watched the show. I did watch the spinoff, the 90210, that the actual just called 90210 with Annalyn McCord.
It lives rent free in my head because my first year of college, we were having in the TV room, you'd have to have an argument with the women who wanted to watch 90210 when you wanted to watch Cheers at the same time.
Well, the thing is, we didn't get Fox up here until the mid 90s. So by then 90210 had been on for a while and I just didn't watch it. So that and X-Files was another one. It
was 1990. I knew it was
a long time ago.
Okay.
We did get The Simpsons for some reason. I guess they must have, one of the local stations must have carried it, but they did not carry 90210 or thing. Now Jason's probably going to tell me I'm lying, but I'm in Winnipeg and he's in Toronto, so it might have been different things.
I was probably still mourning the cancellation of the Dirty Dozen, the series, which was Fox's first foray into primetime TV in '88.
Okay, I speak for Winnipeg only. Okay, there you go. He did get it. We did not. You had to have rabbit ears to pick it up from KNRR in North Dakota if you wanted to watch those shows. Anyways, that led into Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly. That's another thing. Like, again, we go Jon Moxley serious promo, then the Kyle O'Reilly goofus thing. Then we go to this match, which I like this match a lot. So the story of this match was Kyle O'Reilly kept going for submissions, and the story they were telling was that because he'd given up on Saturday, that they figured he might give up again. And
pause, because we've just gotten into the narrative here, and I want to set something that drove me nuts.
Okay.
Excalibur is telling the story that when things get hot, Jon Moxley is the first one to quit. He's giving him the he's a coward line of thinking in terms of that. Danielson follows that up with, man, you got to give him his due. He manned up and congratulated Darby Allin on a thing. So he's giving him the baby face. We're doing both the heel I quit and the baby face I quit story, or the we're turning him babyface story at the same time.
But he kind of changed as the match went on.
Well, and then we got the third story, which is Moxley has now become desperate and angry at not wanting to quit again. So he's like, he's saying he's off his game, because like there's things that he's lashing out at referees, and he's being petulant and whatnot. So this is a terrible redemption storyline in some ways. He needs to own up to the loss before we can then turn him babyface, and it feels like we're not. It feels like we're
I think what's going to happen is the Death Riders are going to dump him, and then he's going to disappear, and then when he comes back, he'll just be a babyface.
Yes.
But okay, so they went. And I will point out too as well, the crowd had been like super hot all night, and then when this match started, they were dead. Like they just were not into this match at all, and I think it's because they just knew, quote unquote, that Jon Moxley was going to win, and it didn't matter what Kyle O'Reilly did; like he wasn't going to win. But then, as the match went on, they started to get into it because, again, like Kyle just kept like getting out of all these submission holds and putting on his own submissions. Moxley would like make the rope, or he'd get out of it somehow, or he'd do things that he wasn't normally doing. He was like punching him when he would normally like just transition to another thing. They so at one point, so Mox hit a bulldog. Kyle broke it up, put on the Gujakatami. Mox broke it up, hits a clothesline, hit a pile driver, only got 2. Then he puts on the bulldog choke, and they showed Marina at ringside, and she just like was shaking her head like she was disgusted. And Kyle made the ropes. Moxley slapped him. Then they both slapped, and Kyle collapsed. Kyle took out his knee. Mox put on a sleeper. Kyle broke it, hit a rolling elbow. Mox kicked him in the head, went for a paradigm, but Kyle O'Reilly rolled through that, put on an ankle lock. And as he's trying to get to the ropes, he actually touched the ropes briefly, but the ref, I didn't see it, or he didn't think it was, hard enough. And then Moxley just gets frustrated, and he just turns around and punches the ref right in the face. And the ref goes down, and the story is that he didn't want to quit, so he punched the ref to get DQ'd. And then a bunch of refs came out to break it all up. The conglomeration were out, the Death Riders were out, and it was a schmoz afterwards. And I hope he gets fined. I don't think he will, but other than that, like I like the story. And Kyle O'Reilly gets the win, quote unquote. I'm sure they'll have a rematch at some point. And and the story is the Death Riders are still behind him, but they're not confident in him, I guess.
Subsequent question, because they've been playing hard that Roddy doesn't want to be in the conglomeration. So if they dump Moxley, Pac leads it, but Roddy joins the Death Riders.
Could do that.
Because they did hint in the Roddy Moxley match, the Marina connection, sort of. So
sort of, yeah.
In the worst way possible, but they did. But
did you like the story of the match?
I couldn't concentrate because I thought Excalibur and Danielson were telling 2 different stories.
Okay.
Because Danielson was giving Moxley attaboys, and
I guess I missed that part.
And Excalibur was basically calling him a coward. I like the coward story. I like I'm falling into a deep depression. Maybe, and you can draw out the I've lost my team type of thing behind him. And you can do this for 4 months if you wanted to.
I would have even like not been opposed to him actually tapping, but I guess this draws it out a little bit longer.
Actually, that would have been great. That would have been great, because it's like, now he's just quitting all over the place because he doesn't see the point and he falls into a depression. And then the Death Riders go, we don't want this mopey.
I think they're trying to drag this story out probably until some of these people that are out come back, because the end of this has to be Moxley off television, but they probably can't take him off television right now because they're down so many other people. So once you get Swerve back, once you get MJF back, then you can write Moxley out.
Yeah, but then you don't give Pac a chance to really lead this crew either.
Unless he's the one that takes them, unless he takes them out.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you have these guys that are out, elevate Pac, and let's see what he has.
Yeah. I agree with Pac being the leader by out of that crew, anyways. So then Mox left.
What other option is there other than maybe Roddy if he came into there?
Oh, you don't want Daniel Garcia?
Do you want Yuta and his crappy promos?
Marina?
Marina? No. Oh, and her hat? Can she bring back the hat and do the... No. Paul.
I'm not the problem. You're the problem. So Mox left with Marina, and the Death Riders stayed around because they had a match coming up. So it was... Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Mark Briscoe against Claudio, Yuta, and Garcia. They had another really good match. Again, all these guys are great. Yeah. The whole point of this match was basically to put over what happened in the last match, because that's all they talked about for like the first 2/3 of the match. They were just talking about how the Death Riders might be questioning the leadership. Danielson points out that the conglomeration is based on friendship and mutual respect, while the Death Riders are based on Moxley's vision, and now they may not be trusting that vision. So I thought that was an astute point that he made. So they had a pretty cool finish. So I'll just cut right here. So Claudio hits Orange Cassidy with an uppercut. Briscoe kicked his head off, hits a lariat on Wheeler. Wheeler came back with a German on Briscoe. Claudio and Garcia were double teaming Briscoe. Wheeler hit him with a Busako knee. Strong broke up the pinfall, which actually I thought they sold that one really well. Then everyone was brawling on the outside. Wheeler starts hitting Briscoe with the Danielson elbows. Fans are chanting, "This is awesome." Then he goes to set up cattle mutilation, but Briscoe reversed it, took his head off with the lariat, hits the Dre Driller, and got the pin. Claudio was trying to get in to break it up, but Roddy Strong was holding them back. And so that was an awesome match. Briscoe got the win after losing on the weekend. And it was I thought it was good, and it established its points.
I want Danielson to be more annoyed by the Busaka knee.
Well, he did point out, like he said, he looked over at me before he did that and stuff. So
but still,
he's almost more proud. You like it kind of comes off like as opposed to annoyed, like he should be. Yeah, I can see that. So after the match, Pac came in, attacked Briscoe. Ishii made the save, starts brawling with Pac, and I thought, they're probably gonna have a match. And sure enough, they announced it later for Collision. Moxley and Marina showed up. Moxley starts backing off of Ishii, but then Marina low blowed him. Then Kyle O'Reilly was in, double leg Mox, and then Marina low blowed, or that was Kyle O'Reilly, sorry, double leg Mox. Then Marina low blowed him as well. Now Claudio and Mox are double teaming him. Claudio picked up Orange Cassidy, was about to throw him into a table like he did to Darby on Saturday, which was an awesome spot from that match. But then Darby showed up with a bat, took out his knee. Orange Cassidy hit him with the Superman punch or the Orange punch, and the Death Riders retreated through the crowd while Darby's music played. So they're falling apart.
Just a personal thing. I really wanted Ishii to be the one guy that you try and hit him in the balls and he no-sells it.
Well, he has
as balls. The stone pit bull.
Oh yeah,
literally stone. And he always no-sells every other move too to make him seem tough. It's like he gets hit in the balls and he just goes
Did you watch Raw on Monday?
I did.
When during the Becky Tiffany match, I think it was Joe Tessitore said that she had what's her name? Maxine has fighting spirit. And I commented, he's rolling over in his grave and he's even dead.
That's the joke. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to name somebody alive who's rolling over in his grave.
Yeah. But this was better than that match. That match was fine, but this was very, very good.
I just choked on my water. I hate you for doing that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you see? I I was watching. What was it? Oh, I was watching. Oh God, can't remember what it was. It was some match. I think it might have been like the Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe match. And I'm like, I just watched the TNA pay-per-view, and now I'm watching Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe. And no offense to the Iconics or the women they were fighting, but this match was better. that's all I put. Anyways, Alicia Toot was in the back. She's with Mercedes, who comes out covered in cake. And Mercedes is flipping out. She's like, "Where's everyone? Where's makeup?" And Athena showed up out of nowhere. She says, "Calm down." She says, "I like this look. This is your best look yet." She says, "You and me are both here to make history as the TBS champion, the longest reigning TBS champion of all time, and the longest reigning ROH champion in all of history. So I think it's time we do this again as the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions." Mercedes says, "I like the sound of that. Title number 13. And then Athena says, "Well, let's go get you cleaned up and get you into minion training." And they go off the screen, and you hear Mercedes like, "Minion training? I'm not doing that." And yeah, and then Alicia had to wipe icing off of her.
Mercedes is highly underrated at doing this physical comedy when she's been humiliated.
Yes,
she's really good. Like, I don't know if you remember the Golden Role Models run when she got misted, and they're cutting a promo backstage at some point, and Bailey lifts up the towel and just drops it back down, and she's just doing her thing over here, and then they take still pictures later, and she has that same look she had when she was hit with the cake, just the anguished look with the big with the teeth, and her closing her eyes and stuff, and Bailey's just looking at her stone-faced. She's really good on camera when she's messy. I just kind of wanted to give that shout out because I think she's one of the best at it. As a matter of fact, that's why.
This reminded me of when Junkyard Dog got tarred and feathered in Mid-South.
Yes,
and like hours later, he's still covered in the molasses and the feathers. And this is Mercedes. Like, I think Mercedes probably, like, after the segment was over, probably put more icing on her body.
Yes, I'm sure she did. I'm sure she. Yeah. Hey, let's play this up. Drench me in cake. Makeup.
Yeah. And she's all in yellow. It was great. So then we get Kyle Fletcher out for a promo, which I don't even think they had advertised, but the fans were chanting "Fuck Don Callis." So Kyle hugged him to console him. And he says, "San Antonio, say my full name." And he paused, and they didn't. At WrestleDream,
he was kind of amused by it too. It's like, say my full name, and they did nothing.
At some point, they're going to, and he's going to be shocked. Yeah. At WWE fans would have they'd have figured out a way to do it, and they will when he shows up on Raw in 4 years. At WrestleDream, I defended my championship for the 6th time in a matter of months, and I did so by putting down one of my greatest rivals to date, Mark Briscoe. Now, the tally between us might read 3 wins for me and 2 wins for him, but this isn't going to be a back and forth. This is done between you and me. I have proven definitively that I have his number. We could wrestle 1 million more times, and I would beat him 1 million more times, further proving that I will be your TNT champion for a very, 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 and before he can say whatever he was going to say next, I'm assuming it was a long time.
That's what I was assuming too.
Yeah. Reach for the sky, boy. And out comes Mark Briscoe. And he says, "Hey, Kyle, as you grow up, young man, you got to learn you don't have to talk so damn much all the time. I did my work tonight and picked up a victory. You're out here running your mouth, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let you talk that bullshit and not come out and retort. Short and sweet, it don't have to be 1 million more times. Give me one more shot. I'm not making excuses. I've been icing my balls all week long, but that's okay.
All right, pause. Yes. Send for the man, because Fletcher and Callis both were caught off guard by this and corpsed.
And at first I thought he was playing off Derek Lewis, and then I realized, no, he got kicked in the balls on the show. They did corpse. And he says, "I just need one more shot. So what do you say, Kyle? Callis whispered something in his ear, and Kyle nodded. And Callis grabs the mic and he says, Mark, I got something to say to you. You're a great wrestler, no question. You're also a great athlete, and I respect your ability. But, buddy, you're sounding a little more desperate, and it's off-putting. Why wouldn't you be, Mark? You got 10 kids at home. How do you focus when you have a family of 10 hungry mouths? That's not a family. That's a financial burden. You need a family like the Don Callis family, but you don't have it. We all support each other. We aren't blood-sucking leeches that just want to take everything you bring home. I can't tell you what you want to hear. I'm only going to tell you what you need to hear. No. And Kyle's music played, and him and Mark jawed each other, and that's it for the segment. So we're going to get this match, but they didn't announce it yet. I'd have laughed if if Excalibur just says, Tony Khan just doesn't sign this match.
I get the story, and they're just going to keep running it until he wins. But
He's probably going to win the next one.
That's what I'm thinking too, and it feels like they never really up the stakes. Like,
well, what's going to probably happen is they're going to have a match not for the title, and if he wins, he gets another title match, and he's going to win, and then he's going to get another title match. He's going to lose.
It has to be a career match.
Maybe, yeah.
Career versus title.
I was thinking
you have to do that.
When Callis started talking, I was thinking title versus Mark Briscoe has to join the Callis family.
You know, but then you want to see that happen, kind of.
Well, yeah.
Like they dress him up as a butler or whatever, like some old school.
Nah, he's just in the background, like in between Clone and Hechicero. Hey, how come everyone says when I say clone, it reminds me of Carlos Colon?
I don't know.
Oh, they made that comment in the Dynamite Show thread. I didn't understand it. I thought maybe I was saying Cologne, but Cologne. I guess maybe that sounds a little the same. Maybe on audio it comes off differently. Title versus Beard.
You're going to be Mark Davis's new tag team partner. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, he won't be a tag team. He doesn't want to be in a tag team anymore.
He doesn't have a choice. He's part of the Callis family.
There you go, yeah. They had advertised that we were going to see brackets for the women's tag team tournament, and we got them here. So They actually left them up and read them, and I had plenty of time to write them down. I didn't have to pause or anything. So the first match is that we already knew, Queen Aminata and Jamie Hayter against the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Then we got Willow Nightingale and Harley, who we saw earlier, against Mercedes Moné and Athena. That's gonna be an awesome match. Alex Windsor and Riho. It's a weird team.
Oh, that's right. That's my fault then. I forgot. I think I mentioned Riho as not being in it. That's my
fault. Well, you know, the weird thing is though, wasn't she teaming with somebody else?
Yuka.
Yeah, it was Yuka. Yeah, and also Saray, I think.
Yeah, on that Ring of Honor.
Yeah, but they're gonna face Tony and Mina, and Megan Baden, Penelope Ford against TJ. So I saw people claiming that TJ is going to win this thing. They aren't winning that first round match. Like, there's no way.
They better make that thing a hardcore match. And I'd be here for it because that would be 5 stars to start with. So, I'm serious.
So I'd say we get Aminata and Harley, or Aminata and Hayter are going to win over Sisters of Sin. Moné and Athena should win over Willow and Harley.
Yeah.
And so then you get Aminata and Jamie. I wrote down HJ. I don't know why, but it's JH.
Windsor and Riho are going to be up against Athena and Mercedes in the finals.
No. Windsor and Riho are going to lose to Tony and Mina.
No.
You don't think so, eh?
No,
I think the finals are going to be Tony and Mina against Moné and Athena.
I think they're going to play the Tony
losing thing
as an angle. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm predicting. I would love to see Mercedes and Athena win, but I think it's going to be Tony and Mina. That's my prediction for the winners of this thing. Who do you got?
As the overall winners?
Yeah.
I think for the first one, I think it's gonna be Mercedes and Athena, and then eventually they break up, and then Mercedes wants Athena's belt.
Okay, you could do that, and then that would give her 13 belts.
Yes, it's going to be one of those things where she's coming out with 12 or 13 belts, including the tag belt, and then Athena only has her 1 belt.
Yeah,
and it's going to be continually berating Athena as only having one title.
Well, I guess she is 2 because she has her singles
That's
belt.
true.
Too.
Yes, yes.
Unless Mercedes, is that to match with Chris? Is that title, or is it just for Chris's title? I think it's just for Chris's.
I think it's just for Chris's.
Yeah. And the tournament starts next week on TBS, so we don't know.
Oh, hold on. That's right. They've already made that match, so it wouldn't make any sense to give them the tag titles and run that story until after that match.
Yeah.
So, man, I kind of wanted to give it to Harley and Willow just because they need to give Willow something to do.
There are Bane and Ford would be great tag team champions. Tony and Mina would be great tag team champions. Willow, Harley, Mercedes, and Athena, any of those, and Queen Aminata and Jamie would be pretty good champions.
No, you're right. No, you're correct. It's going to be Tony and Mina.
Okay, well there you go. I like being right. To the back one more time with Remarkable Renee, and she's with Mina, and she says, as we just saw with the reveal, there's no surprise. You're teaming up with your friend, among other things, Tony Storm. She actually said, among other things.
Explain that for me, Renee, please.
Yeah,
I'm 5.
They're fucking ahead. Is what she's saying. I haven't heard from Tony since last week. She's sad. We lose everything alone.
I was going with the innuendo, and you just come out and okay, fine. Just go. God.
I'm trying to pop the listeners, Jeff.
You pop me as a problem.
He said she's sad. We lose everything when we're alone, but we do everything together. We are the timeless love bombs. We love, we fight, and we will win the AEW. And then she's interrupted by Tekla, because everybody's interrupted in an AEW promo. Mm-hmm. And she says, you haven't lost everything. You still have your love, your dignity, your life. And Mina says, I told you in Japan I would fight you here, so fight me on Collision. And Tekla says, I'd love to. But you think Tony's sad now? She will cry when she sees what I'm going to do to you. And she walks off. I got to say something. Last week, I loved Tekla's promo. I put it over on here, and I heard people saying they couldn't understand what she was saying. The promo was fine, I guess. I was like, what are they watching? She is awesome. She is so great at getting her character over as this psycho that will, you do not want to mess with her. If Marina could talk like her, oh my God.
Yes.
She's amazing. I to the moon with her, but I don't think they're going to belt her anytime soon, but they should. Yeah, but I like this. So we're going to get Tekla and Mina on Saturday, and Tekla better win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and Tony probably saves Mina.
Maybe. And then maybe we get Tekla and Tony. And the main event, Bandido and Kazuchika Okada for the unified title. And this was under Continental and Unified title rules. So that is, I'm not sure if there's actually a 20-minute time limit on these matches. I think there definitely is when they're on TV, but sometimes when they're on pay-per-view, there's not. But no interference, no seconds allowed at ringside, blah, 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 blah. And people were calling, oh, maybe Okada will get himself DQ'd. No, you can't do that in these matches. So had to be a winner. Bandido's family was at ringside, and early in the match, Okada was taunting them. And then later on, they go through a break, and Don Callis mentions that Okada told him that the reason him and Takeshita lost was because it was their first time tagging. And I'm thinking, wait a second.
This is fantastic.
Excalibur says, what are you talking about? They beat Rodito in their first match in Jacksonville a couple weeks later. And Callis just says, what are you, a stooge?
Well, and then Excalibur had the best scumbag. He goes, what, are you going to blame a language barrier?
Yeah. No, it was, that was pretty good. Back to the match. Bandido did the Eddie Splash, got a huge pop in San Antonio. They pointed out that Danielson, Fletcher, and Bandido are the only people that beat Okada in AEW, and now Bandido might do it twice. He hit the 21 plex and got a huge pop, but he wasn't able to cover because of his bad shoulder. Okada kicked out at 2.5. I can't even say it was 2.99. It was, right after the 2 count. And they pointed out it's because of the damage to his left arm. Fans are chanting, this is awesome. Okada went for a running power bomb. Bandido reversed it. Okada hit the drop kick out of nowhere. Always pops the crowd. Went for a Rainmaker, but Bandido rolled him up. Went for a charge in the corner. And as he's in midair, Okada boots him out of midair with 2 boots. It was awesome. Went for the Rainmaker. Bandido ducked, took him down with a clothesline. Crowd is going insane at this point. This is where I realized Dave's giving this at least 5 stars. He picked him up. He hit. I look like a GTS. I don't know what they called it. I think that's got a different name when he does it. But anyways, he went for a 21 plex again, but Okada moved, hit the Rainmaker, and got the pin. And it was a great match. Like, don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's not 5 stars, but Dave's going to give it 5. I loved it, though. It was awesome.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. Yeah, and it was the proper finish, too.
Absolutely, yeah. So after the match, the Callis family all comes out. I think might have been all of them. Like, I saw Davis, Alexander, Trent, Archer.
All that are able to come out.
Right. The Clone, Hechicero, Kyle Fletcher. All like the only one, like Wardlow obviously is not around, and
Andrade, they probably should have a head on a popsicle stick or something.
Brian Cage may be out.
Yes. No.
You saw the Twitter exchange where Brian Cage was like, "Where am I?" And you're an idiot. Callis told him. So he may have been fired. Not from AEW, but anyway, so they all come out, and then Takeshita does his own entrance. And he comes out and he's got the IWGP title. He doesn't look very happy. And Danielson astutely pointed out that Okada just did what Takeshita couldn't do, and that was beat Bandido in action. So in a match. So that was cool. And they put up the collision matches. They'd announced them earlier in the match as well, but I was actually getting Emily's medication ready. So I heard it, but I didn't see it. So it's Hangman Page in action, Tekla versus Mina Shirakawa, Pac versus Ishii, which should be amazing, and FTR and the Young Bucks against Jet Speed and Jurassic Express. That's on Collision, and that is Saturday night in its regular time slot, head to head with Halloween Havoc, which is interesting. So yeah, I and head to head with Game 2 of the World Series, and head to head with UFC 322. Nobody's watching that show. I'll tape it. I'll watch it Sunday. There's no way I'm going to be able to watch that show on Saturday, but I do want to see it. I thought it was a really good show. Their follow-ups from pay-per-views are usually not that good, but someone had a good point, because Dynamite, and it might have been Jason actually, because Dynamite was treated like or because the pay-per-view was treated like a Dynamite, Tony was more organized coming out of it and had things set up and was able to do what he did tonight to kind of get you ready for the next pay-per-view.
Well, with the exception of Hangman not being there, they followed up on all the major stories. And that's what you want. You want them to have felt important. And yeah.
Did they get all of them? I think so.
All the important ones, yes.
Pretty much everything, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was like 10 matches on that show, and I think they hit them all. Other than maybe the pre-show. I don't remember the pre-show. But even Hangman, like we did get that Hangman promo at the very beginning, and we got the Joe promo.
No, they hit the story, but I mean, I think he should have been at the show, but
I guess they saved Hangman for Collision because they want people to watch Collision. And I mean, hey, I'd rather them do that than just throw in the towel.
Yeah, they're gonna try and go against Halloween Havoc, but you also have college football on, so it's like, okay,
it's unbelievable on Saturday. But I mean, I think the same 286,000 and 0.06 in the demo show up every week, no matter what. Like,
or DVR it.
Those are the sickos. And put my hand up. I'm a sicko. So I really enjoyed the show tonight.
You know what, and the fact that it only went 2 hours and some change also made it a lot more fun to watch after these 2.5/3 hour shows that they've been doing.
The fans in the building got 4 hours because they taped Collision right after, so it'll be interesting to see what the crowd's like on Saturday. But I mean, I think they're pretty hot, and San Antonio is a good market, and the way they're pushing the Mexican wrestlers right now probably helps them as well, because there's something we'll talk about it tomorrow, maybe.
Okay.
The possibility of what you think of the idea of Bandido one day winning the world title. If that's, So teaser. Speaking of which, Jeff?
Shake them ropes. We're recording tomorrow. Paul here. we're going to talk a lot about, we'll bring up a lot of points we brought up on this show, including as well. I thought Raw and NXT both had really good weeks. Ricky Saints finally broke out in WWE, which is a good thing. And we will preview Halloween Havoc. And yes, Vader Club will be Flair Funk I Quit from 1989. I will also be doing a show with John LaRocca on Sunday on this network, I believe, at night, covering Halloween Havoc 1993, which I just rewatched as well. So look for that. You can follow me on X at CrapGame13.
And as Jeff mentioned, I will be on Jeff's show tomorrow. And we are also going to be doing
Go ahead.
A bonus show next Tuesday. I can't remember the date. I was just trying to find it. But it's the show where Shaq and Jade wrestled against Cody and Red Velvet. And it also had Tully Blanchard's, I believe, one and only AEW match.
His return to national television wrestling after 32 years.
Yeah, so we're going to watch that show, and we're going to review it next Tuesday at this time. So the same time we started this show, 10:30 Eastern, 10:20 Eastern, actually. No, 10:30 is when we're going to put it on for. So 10:30 Eastern, probably go for about an hour. And we'll talk about that show, and then we'll be back next week. And I'm also I'm going to be away in 2 weeks, but I think I'm going to bring my stuff with me. So we'll still have a show. And I'll my last night in Vegas, I'm going to watch Dynamite for 2 hours. Talk about a sicko. So for Jeff Hawkins, I've been Paul Fontaine, and this has been the Dynamite Show.